Hello dear students, my name is Vikram Nalode. I am from Mechanical Engineering Department and I am working at Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Yadra, Isulkanji. In today's lecture, we will focus on unit number 3 transmission system in which we will cover front and rear axle types. So let's start with the automobile rear axle. So here various parts of the rear axles are shown here. Generally, this is the differential gearbox that is directly connected with the transmission system via propeller shaft, that is drive shaft, and the transmission system connected with engine via clutches. So rear axle transmits power from differential to the wheels so that vehicle may move. Means, as we have discussed, it takes power from an engine via drive shaft and delivers to the wheels. Rear axle is not a single piece, so there are two parts that are connected by the differential. As it is shown in this picture, each part of the rear axle is called the half shaft. The outer end of the rear axle carries the wheel. So outer end means this one and this one. So outer end of the rear axle carries the wheel while the inner end is connected with the sun gear of the differential. In vehicles which employ rear wheel drive, rear wheel are driving wheels. However, in front wheel drives, vehicles front wheels are driving wheels. Rear axles and differential are completely enclosed in a housing to protect them from dust, dirt, water, and any possible damage. Then now let's discuss about various functions of the rear axles. So first function, it is to transmit power from the differential to the wheels. This is the main function. And second function is to carry the weight of the automobiles. So second function resembles that not only the power transmission takes place, but it also carry the weight of the automobile on the rear side. So there are three types of rear axles: live axle. Here it is mentioned live axis. Consider it as live axle, and here dead axle. And third is according to the loading arrangement. So live axles generally which contains differential mechanism through which the engine power flows towards the front wheels, and dead axles that has no connection with the engine means it is dead and will not carry the engine power. So that is only to support the entire weight for moving in specified direction. Third is according to the loading arrangement. So loading arrangement is classified in terms of semi-floating axle hub, three-quarter floating axle hub, and fully floating axle hub. Now here let's discuss about rear dead axle or lazy axle. As we have mentioned earlier, that rear dead axle where power is not transmitted, it is acting as a supporting member. So here it is also called lazy axle. It is not a part of drivetrain but is instead free rotating. The rear axle of front wheel drive car is usually a dead axle. Many trucks and trailers use dead axles for strictly load-bearing purposes. A dead axle located immediately in front of a drive axle, that is called pusher axle. A tag axle is a dead axle situated behind a drive axle. Generally, dead axles are also found on semi-trailers, farm equipments, and certain heavy construction machinery serving the same function. On some vehicles like motor coaches, the tag axle may be steerable. In some design, The wheels on a lazy axle only come into contact with the ground when the load is significant. Thus, it saves unnecessary wear of the tire. Now, front dead axle. So, as it is shown in this picture, there are three types. This is straight axle, this is double drop axle, and here this is the fully drop axle. So generally the front axles, these are called rigid axles, are straight axle, double drop axle, and fully drop axle. These are made by a drop body from steel which has 0.4% of carbon and or 1.3 nickel steel. Generally 0.4 carbon steel, it means it is the medium carbon steel. It is tougher than the low carbon steel which bears huge load that is carried out during the vehicle movement and loading conditions. So nickel is also empowering the strength at various loads and temperatures. The front axle is made up of I section at the center portion, while the ends are made either circular or elliptical. To keep this chassis height low, the center portion of the front axle is given a downward sweep. Here, the types are mentioned of a dead axle, that is the Elliott axle, reverse type, Lemoine, and reverse Lemoine type. So these are the four types of front dead axles. Now let us differentiate in between live axle and dead axle. So it is clearly mentioned in case of dead axle that it has no connection with the engine. It is dead and will not carry the engine power. But in case of live axle, it is an axle that contains a differential mechanism through which engine power flows towards the front wheels. So this is the major difference between live axle and dead axle. Second difference, dead axle has sufficient rigidity and strength to transmit the weight of the vehicle from the springs to the front wheels. On the other hand, in live axle, in addition to transmit weight, live has to supply engine power to the wheels. Here in the case of dead axle, generally front axle is dead in front engine, rear wheel drive, or rear engine rear wheel drive. But in case of live axle, generally rear axle is live axle in front engine rear wheel drive or rear engine rear wheel drive. Now let's discuss about the advantages. The principal advantage of the beam axle, that is its simplicity. It's simple in construction. Then simplicity makes it very space efficient and relatively cheap to manufacture. Then they are nearly universally used in heavy duty trucks and most light and medium duty pickup trucks, SUVs, vans also use a beam axle at least in the rear. Then beam axles have an important advantage for off-road applications as they provide better vehicle articulation and durability in the high load environment. Generally when the trailer is used, means heavy load is loaded, then such type of vehicle articulation is accompanied. Then the simplicity also makes it relatively easy to lift a vehicle. So these are some of the advantages. Along with the advantages, there are some of the disadvantages, that it does not allow each wheel to move independently in response to bumps, and the mass of the beam is part of the unsprung weight of the vehicle. which can further reduce ride quality. So that is a disadvantage through which quality of riding is reduced. Also, concerning ability is typically worse than other suspension designs because the wheels have zero camber angle gain during body roll. There are some types of rear axle, loading of different axle hub arrangements, like we have discussed. These include semi-floating axle type. These are commonly used in cars. Then three-quarter floating axle hub, that is rarely used today, and fully floating axle hub. These are commonly used on heavy vehicles. Axle shafts are divided into semi-floating, three-quarter floating, and fully floating, as these are mentioned, depending on the stresses to which your shaft is subjected. Axle half shafts are situated on each side of the final drive and convey motion to the road wheels. There are basically three different arrangements that we have already mentioned above. Now let's discuss about half floating axle or semi-floating. So here it is mentioned, this is the axle shaft, this is the axle casing, and this is the taper key hub. So in a half floating rear axle, the axle is at center of axle casing and the bearings are inside the axle casing. The weight of the vehicle is transmitted first to suspension spring, then to axle casing, then to axle, and finally to ground. Now three-quarter floating. So in three-quarter floating, this is the axle shaft, axle casing, then this is the wheel hub, and here wheel stud location. So as it is mentioned, in a three-quarter floating rear axle, bearings are on the outer side of the axle casing, that is between casing and wheel. In this case, the major part of the vehicle weight is taken by axle casing and not by the axle. This is main advantage of three-quarter floating type over half floating type. Thus, axle breakdown is less in this case as compared to the previous one. Let's discuss fully floating rear axle. So here this is the axle shaft, this is the axle casing. Here these are the flange sleeve. Generally bearing lock nuts are provided here, and this is wheel stud. So it is mentioned that in fully floated rear axle, the bearings are provided between axle casing and the wheel. In this case, all the vehicle weight is transmitted to ground through axle case and wheel. The axle is not supported by bearings, but it is supported at both ends. This type of axle is very strong and therefore it is used for heavy duty vehicles. In the event of breakdown of the axle, the wheel cannot come out. This is safer, but it is costlier. So in this lecture, we have discussed the types of axles. Hope you have understood. In next lecture, we will go for another topic of automobile engineering. Thank you. Thank you so much.